Now you said the word good specifically. We had a whole bunch of conversations up here, and I'm like, what's a good man, right? And when we started about talking about a good man, if he wasn't making upwards of or almost at six figures, he wasn't good. So I'm like, hey, good man, what's good? How much money is he making? That was like one of the first questions that was asked regarding a good man. So I asked, I want to get your opinion. Is being a good man enough for today's women? Let me unmute you.
Oh, probably not. I'm gonna keep it real. For today's women and how things are moving, no. For me, it's different, but this is the thing, right? I say this all the time. People want this good man and they have a list, and then they look at that list and they can't embody none of that shit. Listen, like, you want a man that makes six figures, baby, you make $30,000 a year. Like, stop. When I say that, I could say that because I don't want no man that makes less money than me. That's just, it's not gonna be a good balance. And a man don't want that either. The man feels so bad in his energy when his girl makes more money than him. So I'm gonna at least say, match me, and then we can grow and build together. But a lot of people don't even want a nigga to match them, because if they matching you, baby, then you with a nigga who makes $20,000 a year, ain't fit. You know what I'm saying? Don't have they shit together. Is toxic, complains, be selling pussy on the internet. So stop fucking playing. That's all I'm saying. Stop trying to expect things that you cannot offer in return. That's it.
God. she's selling pussy on the internet is crazy. So you're saying that the women essentially, and I just like you know what I mean? I want to frame it. She should be able to offer at least a decent percentage of what she's asking for. And the majority are not, would you say? If it was majority minority, what would you say? The majority aren't matching up to what they're asking for?
I would say no, because I see a lot of women like, baby, I need a man to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm confused. So for me, it's like, I just think that you attract at the same level of where you're at and where your frequency lies. So at the same time, it's like, it may not even be our finances are matching, but we are equally yoked because mentally I'm there, or because physically I'm in the gym, I'm healthy, I'm working on myself, I'm doing the things that are striving to be where you're at. So I may meet a man that has more money than me, but guess what? Mentally, I'm on my way there. And that's why I'm attracting you, because I know that I am working towards that as well on so many different aspects, in my life. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to do the inner work. They just want to have this person that's going to fucking come out the sky, be this balling ass, fly, fine, old masculine, doesn't ever have a problem ass nigga, and come swoop them the fuck up while they're sitting at home eating fucking donuts, bitch. No. Like, I'm not going to do that. Or even if not, you're pretty. You didn't have 30 million surgeries. You're on the internet and everyone has access to you, boo. I could pay $9.99 a month and see your fucking vagina. Stop playing. And you want someone to take you fucking serious. No. Like, if I could pay to see your pussy for $10, like, reevaluate what you're asking for.
Damn. that take, is oftentimes it's like, hey, the men have to do X, Y, and Z, right? And the women bring their part. But it's interesting, right? Generally speaking, do unto others as you have them do unto you, right? So essentially you think that you want to be equally yoked in a lot more things, including maybe income, maybe likes, you know what I mean? Things that you're interested in, conduct, especially. What do you think about conduct as since we're there? The things that I did a one-on-one with my wife, and she's like, women want it all. They want you to work and bring in all the money, and they want quality time and everything else. They want it all at once. What you think about that? Is that unfair? Is that childish, or is that justifiable?
It depends on which woman you are. Because there's women that want it all because they give it all and they deserve to have it all. There's women that want it all and they don't do a motherfucking thing. So, in my opinion, it depends on what kind of woman you are, honestly, and what you're bringing to the table and what you have to offer. Because I'm someone who knows that I have a lot to offer and a lot to give. I know what I can bring. I know that when you pour into me, I have the capacity to hold what you're pouring. See, this is the problem. Let me show you. There's a lot of people who have this much water to pour into someone else, right? But
Mhm.
this is who the fuck they're pouring into, a bottle cap. So the person don't even have the capacity to hold everything that they're pouring. And when it's time to pour back into you, they got a little droplet. And that's the motherfucking problem. You need to understand who the fuck you're pouring into and who's pouring into you. Because a lot of people are pouring into bottle caps. And when it's time, and they're depleted and they're done. And when it's time to get poured back into, they don't got shit. So at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you need to decide whether it was a man or whether it was a woman who is pouring into who. And does this person even have the capacity to hold that and know what to do with it and to flip it, to multiply it, and to bring it back to me?
Now let me ask you: the majority of the minority of women are offering everything they're asking for. Just because I know you said it depends on what type of women it is. So where do you think majority of women lie? The ones that are the bottle cap, or the ones that can afford to be poured into because they were also pouring?
I'm going to be honest with you. I do think that there's a very large pool of good women. And I would never say that there's not. Because,
Okay.
like I said, I'm a good woman and I am around a lot of good women as well. So there is that. But I think what is magnified on the internet, and I think that what a lot of these men are experiencing, because they do go off of the visuals and what they're seeing on the internet and their sexual desires and their lust, they are experiencing them bottle cap bitches, period, point blank.
Mm,
Because
okay.
that's what's being marketed and sold to them every
Mm,
day online, packaged in a bikini.
okay. But you think the majority of women are
I
dateable,
wouldn't say the
marriageable, or
majority, but I would say
minority?
a good amount. I don't know if it's majority, because I'm not going to say that there's a big majority of every woman is amazing. No, I think that the majority of women might be on some bullshit, and I think that there's a good chunk of women who are some really good women.
Okay. So you're saying like a large minority, like a 40%?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Where are they?
You got to find them. I see them every day. I
Yeah.
don't see people who I do. I see them every day. I don't see women. I don't even see people that, at this point, the way that my frequency is set up, I don't even interact with people who are not on that type of time. Seriously. Like, I feel like I have retrained my subconscious mind and I have allowed myself to raise and higher my frequency on a level where I am on a different plane. And I know this is next level for a lot of people, but I see only the things that I want to attract and see. And where I'm at and where my frequency is at, I don't really fuck around with people who aren't good people. I don't really run into them motherfuckers no more. I used to all the goddamn time. I see them on the internet and stuff, but in real life, I know a whole bunch of good people. A good woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not no ugly, weird ass looking bitch. I'm talking about beautiful women, nice bodies, ready to really like do the things, like great mind, really like on point. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know a bunch of women. I'm sure there's a bunch of women in this fucking live right now that are good women. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, unfortunately for us, what's being packaged and sold online all day is whores.
Okay.
So if that's in front of your face and you see it and it's looking good, you're gonna give it a spin. And a lot of the good women get put on the back burner, because
Gotcha.
there's beautiful good women that have just as banging bodies as the next bitch, but I'm not gonna be online ass naked showing it to you.
Hmm. Okay. So let me ask you, how do we identify a good woman? Because that seems to be the crux of the matter for all intents and purposes. So I know it's hard, right, to kind of give us the archetype, but we need to understand like what to look for, right? Because I catch your drift. If you know, is I what I like in what you said too is when you buy a car, you see that car everywhere all of a sudden, you know. So I understand like your mindset, and then now you got to put yourself in different places. But how do we identify a good woman? Like if you just had to break it, just like her head, her heart, her wisdom, her job, like what does this look like?
So I really think it's simple, honestly. And I think
Okay.
that people want to overcomplicate it because it's not that hard. You know a good person when you see a good person. You can feel it energetically. You know when someone's genuine and you know when they're not. It's all
Mhm.
based in their actions, their motives, and how they're moving, how they're talking. You can see when a woman is actually someone who, you know, is cares about herself. So number one, it starts with how much does this person care about themselves? How much do they have to lose? How much do they value the people that's around them and in their lives? How many friends do they have that they had for over 10 years, you know, that's been in their corner? How many people do they surround themselves with? When I talk to them, are they gossiping? Are they talking about other women? Are they always negative? Are they hating? Or when I talk to this person, are they speaking life into me, speaking life into themselves, uplifting the people around them? Are they doing good for others around them? Are they giving? Are they loving? Are they nurturing? These are all things that good women embody. And you know those qualities very quickly when you're dealing with someone because you can't fake a lot of that shit.
Mhm.
You
Okay.
can't fake be a nurturer. You can't fake having homegirls in your life for 10. I had same homegirls from when I was in seventh fucking grade. You
Hmm.
can't fake some of that shit because a lot of that shit is things that you can really peep in someone's life. Like you got to know. Like another good thing is like for a man, right? This is a good telltale for me. If I get with a man and he's bashing his ex or talking bad about his baby mama, that's an immediate red flag for me. A lot of women might like that because they feel like, oh yeah, he doesn't like her, fuck her. No, baby, I don't want no gossiping ass nigga. What happened with you and her, keep it with you and her. That's sacred. But when
Mhm.
you see somebody who comes to you and they gossiping and they talking shit, it's just not your turn yet. It will happen to you because that's their character.
Okay.
So people confuse character and they use it on a like, oh, he's only doing this because of this. No, character is character. And so when you come and tell me that that man was talking crazy to you or that woman was talking crazy to you, I'm just going to tell you, oh, well, it seems like it's on brand for who they really are. That's all I'm going to tell you. It seems
Okay.
like they're on brand.
What about their presentation? Let's say verbiage, let's say wardrobe. Does that speak about the person, the good woman? Because we need to find her.
Um, I do think that how a woman carries herself and how she like what she wears and how she carries herself. I mean, I do think that's important. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like it's all, you know, like if a woman is put together, you know,
Mhm.
fresh, crisp, you can tell that she takes care of her body, she takes care of her skin. You
Mhm.
know, for me, I'm looking at those things like, is your skin clear? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if
Mhm.
it's not like 100% clear, but you know, like you could tell you're taking care of your face, your
Mhm.
nails don't have no dirty dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like you're clean, your hygiene is up to par, your teeth look good. You know what I'm saying? This is someone who cares about themselves. I can't be around people who don't give a fuck about themselves. Because if you don't care about yourself, you for damn sure ain't gonna care about me. Because you can't even figure out how to care about yourself. So
Hmm.
yes, I think it's very important. Like for me, I take pride in smelling good, teeth clean, teeth cleaning, skin fresh, nails fresh. Even if I don't have a million designer things on, that don't matter. You look crisp, you look clean, you look put together. You even with the purse, I always look at a woman's purse like, is it just junky up in there? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you crisp? You have some lotion, some gum. Like, those are little random things, but they're important as a woman in order to carry yourself. And even when I mentor young women, I teach them about stuff like that. Like always keep this on you, always have wipes, like always have this. It's important as a woman. And for me, actually, a man taught me that when I was very young. One of my first boyfriends, he was like, you should always have gum on you, you should always have this, you should, you know, get your teeth cleaned, you should do this. Like I had to learn that from a man, you know,
Hmm.
but the truth is that's important.
Okay. 100%. Now, what would you say about like verbiage? What could we disqualify her for like certain verbiage or word usage and things of that nature?
I can't say that because I cuss and I say anything. So for me, I'm gonna let you know right now. I listen. I would be disqualified a long time ago, and baby, I'm a good ass woman. So if you want to disqualify me for the things I say because I'm passionate, then you know it's up to you. It's what you can deal with and what you prefer. You know what I'm saying? Like I cuss. I don't love that about me, but I do because it's in my passion. It's fun. It's exciting. I'm a businesswoman all day. So I work all day. I can't cuss, and I have to be very professional, and I work with very top elite people. And then when I
Okay.
come home, I want to be like, fuck these niggas for real. You know what I'm saying? But that's just because I'm passionate and I like to speak in that manner. Some men don't fuck with that. I personally have never been with someone who doesn't fuck with that. So I find my match, when it comes to that type of stuff. But at the same time, some people just don't fuck with that, and that's okay.
Okay. What about, because I know you said like men generally are pretty simple, feminine, fit. What if
Yeah.
she's, let's say, overweight, right? I'm not a proponent of like white women or nothing like that, right? So generally speaking, when you look at the statistics, and then we gotta, people say they may be skewed, but it says 70% of our women are at the obese mark, right?
Hmm.
A woman that's heavy set, do you think she still qualifies though?
I think she qualifies for a man who likes a heavyset woman.
Okay,
There's men who prefer heavyset women. There's men
sure.
who like a thicker broad. There's preferences here. You know what I'm saying? Like some women like heavyset men. Some women like skinny men. It just depends on what your preferences are. Period. Like everyone has a visual preference. Yeah,
Hmm.
like unfortunately, there's a lot of men who maybe like have money or have this. Like they probably, as we can see in society, if you look at like these NBA players, or you look at these rappers, or you look at all these people that the women aspire to want, they typically don't date like obese women. You know what I mean? You don't typically see that in the media, but not everything is just about what you see in the media. There is some men who prefer a thicker woman or a heavy set woman. But as a heavy set woman or a thicker woman, you cannot try to say, I want a man who's all in the gym with abs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Hmm.
can't be your preference because that's not you.
Okay.
And
Do
that's
you think?
okay.
Yeah. Do you think it's a minority of men that tend to lean towards heavyset women?
I've noticed that there's men that like heavy set women, but they feel like it's more of a taboo, so they fuck with them on the low. I think there's a lot of men who actually like heavy set women, but I think that they just hide it.
But you think it's a minority or majority of men though?
I don't know. I can't answer that question because I don't know. I really don't know that answer.
You think it could be a majority of men who like heavyset women?
I don't, but I think that people have sexual fetishes. So I can't say
Yeah.
that they
For
may not like
relationships. For
them.
relationships.
Oh, for relationships, no. I definitely think for a relationship and for a public relationship, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's just the truth. As far as like what someone's inner sexual fetishes are, I don't know. But as far as a relationship goes, I think the majority of men do not want a heavy set girlfriend.
Okay. Okay. Now, one more quick. 'Cause I'm trying to understand the archetype of a good woman, right? What
Hmm.
about her family dynamic? Let's say if she does or does not have a father, she did or did not grow up with her father. Does that make a difference?
It's so funny. I had this conversation last night.
Okay.
Sorry, let me fix my phone. Um,
Mhm.
I had this conversation last night.
Okay.
I come from a two-parent household. My parents are still married till this day. Okay. And, I had a father very present, a provider. My dad is a rich man too, so I've seen all of that. And what's funny is I just had this conversation because a man said he should be counting women out if they don't come from a two-parent household or don't have a father figure. And I said, that is wrong. Period, point blank. Because the trauma is not your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. And a lot of women have taken the responsibility to heal that daddy issue that they have. There's a lot of women that I know, one of my best friends actually, who did not have a father figure prevalent in their lives and is a married, amazing wife and probably one of the best women that I've ever seen. So at the same time, it's like for you to count out, first of all, statistically, the majority, if we're talking about black people in general lack a father figure. That goes for men and women, period. So a woman could go look at a man and say, oh, you didn't have a father figure. They're going to count out more than half of men, vice versa. Period, point blank. So at the end of the day, I do not think that that's fair. And I think that you're doing yourself a disservice if you are counting out women without fathers. And like I said, I am not a woman without a father. My parents are still married right now, 50 something years. So I'm saying this because I do know that you need to start looking at the people's qualities and characteristics more than you're assessing every little thing about this motherfucker that happened to them. Because people have been through things, people have grown up with a father and a mother and are more fucked up than people without one. Because their father could have been X, Y, and Z, treating the mom bad, beating the ass, the mom staying with the man, and now she's used to being in relationships with men who do the same, and is gonna stick around for it. So you don't know what the hell might happen. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have that, you should not make someone qualified or disqualified. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you. Okay. Would you? Hmm. But I get you acknowledge the. Damn, I muted my damn self. You acknowledge though that there is trauma with this. Are you like a single parent led household? Do you think that there credence to be more trauma, more trials and tribulations? There's different stats attributed to single parent households. Crime, IEP, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So there's associations that come from that household. Does that make a difference? Like, what would you recommend to like your child as an example? Let's say he has two women. One has a mother and a father. One has a mother. They have everything else, all other things equal. What would your recommendation be? Because your point is well taken. I'm just trying to understand it because I want to we trying to find this good woman that's out there.
I would recommend to my son, which woman do you feel is more genuine? Which woman do you feel like you can build a life with? Which woman do you feel like you can come to when you're in distress? And that would be open and listen to you with open arms and not judge you and not throw it back in your face later. That's what I would tell my son. Because at the end of the day, yes, there's stats that show single parent households have X, Y, and Z. But there's also stats that show people with two parents have a lot of trauma too. Like, don't ever get it twisted. It's on both ends. And I think that people have trauma, period. If you show me one motherfucker that got raised in a perfect household and nothing ever happened to them, I would love to see it. Because there's some shit. There's people with two parents and one of them was molesting them their whole fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that could have happened. So no, I cannot advise someone to say just go with her because she doesn't have a father. I mean, that's because she has a father.
Let me see. She must have got a phone call. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button. Good.
Sorry,
Check.
I was getting a call, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot advise that. So for me, I'm not going to be able to say that to my son. I'm going to have to tell him, look, you need to go with what you feel is the person that you know has is more open. And just like all the things that I said to look for in a woman, nurturing, loving, not judgmental, not going to throw you to the fucking side because you have an issue, not going to leave you because it's you when you're down bad. Like, which woman is that? Because there might be a woman who didn't have a father and so badly wants to create that for their child that they're willing to become the woman that they need to be in order to embody that. There's a lot of women that seen things like there's two type of people. You see something fucked up and you become it, or you see something fucked up and you become exactly the opposite of it. Two type of people. So you can get with someone who is so dedicated to not being that motherfucker.
Okay.
And you just fumbled it because you wanted to judge a motherfucker if they had a mom or dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, like, that's not right. I don't think that's right. I can't live like that.
Okay. Yeah, and the question how I posed it, just because I want to understand, is all things being equal, with the exception of that. But I think the answer is probably still going to be the answer, right?
Yeah, the answer is going to be the answer because I really stand beside that. I can't change or sway or advise anybody other than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, it is what it is. Like,
Okay. How
I
about
okay, go ahead.
well, one more facet, right? Because these are things. So these are things that we talk about constantly, right? I'm just framing them in a particular way because we're looking for this good woman. What about if she has a kid? What you think about that? Would that change the dynamics for that man? Should she be more or less considered? How much sway do you think that has?
If a woman has a kid, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it is harder. Period. Because that man not only has to consider you, but he has to consider your child. And then he has to consider whatever baby daddy you have as well. Those are all factors into the relationship, and it does cause more of a second thought for a man. I'm gonna keep it real. Seriously, I've been afraid to have a baby because I'm not gonna deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have a man, it needs to be my husband. We need to be this. We need to be that. We need to have a child because I understand that it is harder. And I'm not saying it's impossible. And I feel like there's a lot of women who are incredible single mothers. But yes, it's much harder, especially because the woman usually bears the bigger responsibility for the child. So at the end of the day, when that man comes into your life, now he's gonna have to feel like he's playing daddy. He got another situation. You gonna have the kid. He gonna have to include the child. It has to not just be you. Shit, I'd be stressed out when a motherfucker have a dog and I gotta date them. Like, bitch, you gotta go back and go get the dog, feed that motherfucker. Like, fuck no. You can't just spend the night. You gotta go feed the dog and walk it and make it go shit. No. So I can't even imagine the fucking idea of being with someone with a kid. And again, a woman dating a man with a child is much different because men do not bear the main responsibility. I have dated a man with a child. He had that daughter on the weekends, and even me, sometimes I'll be annoyed. Like, oh God, I don't want to see this little girl right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as big as a mother's responsibility. And so at the end of the day, yes, it is a big thing when you have a child, but it doesn't mean that they're exempt from being dated. But let's keep it real. If a man had a woman who was great with no child, a woman who was great with child, which one is he going to pick? The no child, period. I'm going to pick the no child. If it's a man with a child and a man with, I'm going to go with the man with the no child. And for anyone to say that is just feeling like if you are a mother or you are a father, and I know that's a very harsh reality to hear, it doesn't make you exempt, but that is really the truth. Love you to death, but I'm going to go with someone without a child. But if I really fuck with you and I love you and I rock with you, I'm going to make it happen. Period. I've been with a man. I fucked with him so heavy, I would have adopted the child tomorrow. So it doesn't matter. When you love someone, you rock with them. If they're embodying all these qualities and they make your life better and they're adding value and they're adding peace and they're contributing, then yes. But as a woman with a child, you might have to add a little more value than a woman without one. But you still, I have one of my best friends has a child and just got engaged to a man. And is about to get married, like, period. And she's a beautiful, good woman and all that. So at the end of the day, it's possible. It can happen. Yeah, it's a little more difficult. And I feel for single mothers. That shit is not no joke. So, yeah.
Okay, I got two more for you. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Based on what we see, marriage rates and things of that nature for Black people specifically, things are kind of down in the dumps. We've been going back and forth for a minute. I think that men and women are complicit in the reason why our relationships are failing. What do you think would be more? How you say? What would you think would be more helpful if, like, which gender got their shit together first? Do you think if men got their shit together first, it would make the relationship process much more efficient? Or you think it's women who got the most shit to work on and probably need to get it together first to make us most successful?
I'm going to say women. And the reason I'm going to say women is women control the sex. So if women started having a little more class about themselves and having more boundaries and having limits to who can enter them and really looking for a genuine partnership and love and approaching the situation differently, then all it does is make a man move different. You could do that today. I give women advice all the time, and they're like, wow, this man is moving like a whole different man. I said, yeah, because you relinquished all your boundaries. You let the nigga walk all over you. You acted a fool, and now look at this man. You know what I'm saying? But if women started moving differently, because women control the beginning of the relationship with a man. The man can't even get access to you unless a woman allows it. So if women start changing that and start moving differently and start having a little more class and just moving in a different way, then yeah, I feel like we could change that shit. We could change that. Listen, I have men, they know how to approach me, baby. Like it ain't none of that over here. So I don't even be dealing with men like that. Men like that don't even come my way because they know I'm not about to play with them.
Man.
So that's just the truth.
Okay. Yeah, because one of my mans, you heard the term dick discipline before? Well, he coined the term pussy preservation. He said if pussy preservation was on high, meaning preserved the most, that would have the better outcomes. You agree with that, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I do. I agree. And I feel like, I agree. I feel like this is a very enlightening and dope conversation. I hope that everyone really tapped in and tuned in, and I hope that people enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna have to wrap up in a minute,
Yeah.
but should we let anyone ask? Does anyone have any questions? Like, how does that
Yeah, so
work?
here's what I'm gonna do. Cause I be having the chat closed so I can focus. So I'm gonna ask you one question. You can answer it. This one is a quick one. I'll read the super chats, and then I'll drop the link. You got like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes.
All right, perfect. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I'm gonna pull the chat back up. What talking point should have died and stayed in 2024? What talking point?
50-50.
50-50?
Yes. I'm sick of
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Word.
Wow.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.